Okay, sixth graders, let's review what we've covered so far with converting decimals and fractions and changing the form that they're in, okay? So this is from lesson 4.3, these converting top-heavy fractions to mixed numbers. And when you read this, 23 over 5, you can also read it as 23 divided by 5. And that's how you'll know what to do. 23 divided by 5. So, 23 goes inside the house, divided by 5. How many times does 5 go into 23? 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20, remainder 3. And so we put the remainder over the divisor. This is 4 and 3/5. 4 and 3/5. Okay? The same thing is true here. We do 48 divided by 10. It goes in 4 times. 4 times 10 is 40. Remainder 8. So 4 and 8/10. We have to change 8/10 to 4/5, right? 4 and 4/5. How many of you got these two right? Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Let's talk about converting to a top-heavy fraction. When we have to figure out how many pieces we have. That's why you multiply the whole number times the denominator, so you can find how many pieces you can make out of the whole number, and then add the pieces you already have. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 1 is 31 over 6. We're talking about pieces that are this size, 31/6. How many pieces can we get out of 3 wholes? 3 times 8 is 24, plus 7 is 31. 31 again. This time it's 31/8 instead of 31/6. How many of you got these right? Good. Good. Okay, this is what we talked about yesterday in 4.4. Converting to a fraction. Read the number 4 and 35/100ths, and then write it like that. 4 and 35/100ths. But then 35/100ths can both be divided by 5. So divide those by 5. And that is 7/20ths. So it's 4 and 7/20ths in simplest form. Of course you have to use simplest form. How about 5 and 3/5? So, the 5 is the whole number, isn't it? 5 point. Now, 3 divided by 5. Now, this was one that we talked about yesterday. 3/5 is how many tenths? 3/5 is how many tenths? If you double it, double each one, and it's double the 3, double the 5.
So it'd be 5.6.
6 tenths. 5.6. Or you can do 3 divided by 5, which is, we have to use 30 because 5 doesn't go into 3. And that's 6. 5.6. Okay? So, this This is a skill check that you have to know how to do all of these for the test. Okay? Go back and review this and make sure that you can do all of these problems. Okay? Now, today we're going to be talking about fractions, decimals, and percents. A percent is any number that is in decimal form and then multiplied by 100. A decimal number multiplied by 100. What the multiplication by 100 means is it tells you how many there would be if you had 100 total. If you had a total of 100 people and 75 out of 100 liked pizza, then that's 75%. 75 out of 100. Now, if 3 out of 4 people like pizza, then we'd have to convert that to a decimal first. How do you convert 3/4 to a decimal? If you asked 4 people and 3 of them like pizza, we can find the percent. How do we do that again, Bryce?
Since 4 is basically 25, because 25, 50,
Wait, look at this.
Oh, you divide.
Yeah, 3 divided by 4 goes in 0.75. Eyes up here. All eyes on here, on the board. 0.75. So 3/4 as a decimal is 0.75, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what you were trying to explain, but you were just going at it from a little different angle. Okay? Now, if we wanted to know what percent that is, you would take 0.75 and multiply it by 100. We can move that we can do that easily by just moving the decimal place 2 places to the right. Anytime you multiply by 100, you move the decimal place 2 places to the right. Okay? Mirror. When you multiply by 100, move the decimal place 2 places to the right. Okay?
Okay.
You got it?
Got it.
Good. Okay, let's look at this one. This is a picture of what?
Pizza.
Half.
Oh, it's a half. Okay? It's half. Half of it is shaded. The decimal is 0.5, right? If we move the decimal place 2 places to the right, what do you get? 50. So it's 50%. And here's the percent sign. Okay? What does the 50% mean? Max?
Half of 100.
It's half of 100, so it's 50 out of 100, right? What else is 50%? Give me some other fractions that are 50%. Brett,
Well, like the meaning of it, it would be,
give me some other fractions that mean 50%. Emily?
like 2/4.
2/4, 2 out of 4. Tyler? 4/8. 5/10. 10/20.
900, 1,800.
Yes, 900 out of 1,800. That's also 50%. It doesn't have to be below 50 in order for it to be 50%. It just has to equal what? Cal?
They have to be half of the whole thing.
Exactly. It just has to be a fraction that equals half. Okay? Now, percent is also used in figuring out the weather, for example. If you watch the weather report, you might have seen there's a 99% chance of rain today. Guess what? It's raining.
Snowing outside.
That's a high percentage, isn't it?
Yep.
Stop talking. That's called probability. The number of chances that something could occur out of the total is called probability. Repeat that word.
Probability.
Right. What is the probability on this dice that you'll roll a 1? It's 1 out of 6. Right. 1 out of 6. What is the percent chance that you would roll a 1? How would you find the percent?
Oh, okay.
What's the percent chance that I'm going to roll a 6? Or sorry, a 1? What's the percent chance? How would we figure that out? What would we have to do? What's the procedure? Ariana? No, 1. 1 by 6. We'd have to convert this to a decimal. So do that first, everybody. Do that. Do 1 divided by 6. 1 divided by 6, not 6 divided by 1. Come on, this isn't difficult. You can do it. On your paper, do 1 divided by 6. Come on.
I did it.
1 divided by 6. What's my percent chance?
7.
No, 1 divided by 6. 1 divided by 6. Cole?
17%.
17%?
Yeah.
Let's see if he's correct. Does 6 go into 1? No, we have to add a decimal point and a 0, right? So do that right now. Write it down. Practice. Practice. This is how you get good at something. You practice it. So 6 would go into 10. How many times? Once. Write the 1. Write the 6. Subtract. Remainder. 10 minus 6. 4. Bring down another 0. 6 go into 40. Not evenly, but it does. How many times would it go? 6. 6 times 6. 36. Remainder 4. What do we have here? A pattern. What is it? It's 1.
6 repeating.
Yeah, so it's 0.16 and the 6 repeats, doesn't it? So Cole rounded it to the nearest what?
10.
100. Rounded to the nearest 100, this would be 0.17. 0.17 times 100. So move it over 2 places. Anytime you multiply by 100, you move the decimal place over 2 places. So from 0.17, we would move it to behind the 7, which equals 17. And then the percent sign. No, we rounded to the nearest 100. We rounded to because the next one is a 6. Isn't it? It's a repeating decimal. You're always going to get 40, and you're always going to put 6 into 46 times. You get 36, remainder 4. Bring down another 0. 40 times 6 is 36, remainder 4. Bring down another 0. It's a repeating decimal. I'm a repeating teacher. So it's 17%, isn't it? Or 16.6. Or 16.7%. Look at this chart. This is what you have in front of you on your worksheet. Go to the pre-teaching side first. We're starting with 72%. Oh, wait a second. So let's start with 72%. How would we move 72% into the decimal column? How would we do that? It says, right here. Somebody read that. Max?
Move decimal point 2 places left
To get the decimal. You move the decimal point. Since 72 is a whole decimal, the decimal point would go behind the 2, right? So if we move this 2 places over, what is that as a decimal? What is it as a decimal then? Abby?
72.
Good, 72 hundredths. Write that down.
Where?
First, move the decimal place 2 places. Number 1 on your worksheet. Move the decimal place 2 places like I did. Under the 72%, practice moving the decimal. Practice moving the decimal. Pick up your pencil, put a decimal point, and move it over 2 places. Can I be any clearer? Practice moving the decimal. Class?
Yes.
Now we have to write this as a fraction. Quiet, please. How would we read this? 72 hundredths. And you write 72 over 100. Then reduce it. Divide by 2. What would that be? 36. Yep. 36 fiftieths. Divide by 2 again. 18 20 So 18 25ths is equal to 72 hundredths, which is equal to 72%. Let's do the next one together. Number 2. What are we starting with? 9 25ths. We're starting with half of this. Instead of 18 25ths, we're starting with 9 25ths. That's number 3? Oh, 2 is 34. All right. Let's start with 9. Let's do number 3. Okay. 9 25ths. What do we have to do? Divide 9 by 25. 9 divided by 25. 25 has to go into 90 3 times. That's 75. Remainder 15. How many times does 25 go into 150? 6. Good. So it's 0.36. Remember I said this is half? 9 25ths is half of 18 25ths. There's half as many pieces. And look at our decimal. Instead of 0.72, it's 0.36. How would we change this to a percent? Move the decimal. Instead of 0.36, we move it over 2 places. So it's 36%. Okay? All right, I want you to do this side, the reteaching side for tomorrow. Just that side, reteaching side. Finish the reteaching side. Uh-oh. That's not right.